You finally have a Facebook advert that is working. You are getting a lot of results. You are getting cost per sale at a very cheap cost, and also cost per lead is coming in at a very cheap cost. All of a sudden, you just increased your budget, and the next day you are expecting a lot of results to come in, only for your results to start going down and your cost per conversion start increasing. If this has happened to you every time, then it means that you did not scale your adverts the right way. And that is why in this video, I am going to show you step by step how you can scale your advert in 2026. If you're running Facebook advert, this is one of the best video you should watch online. Then I will also show you how to do it live. I'm going to log into my ad manager to walk you through how to do it step by step. But first, I want us to go through some theory that you need to know. Now, what you're going to learn in this video is number one, how to scale Facebook advert and what scaling actually means. Then I will show you the most common scaling mistakes that is destroying your campaign. If you know that you're making one of these mistakes, it's probably one of the reasons that your advert is not working. I'll go ahead and explain what is horizontal scaling and what is vertical scaling. I'll show you the difference between the two and when you can use each of them. Then I will explain the rules of scaling that Facebook algorithm demands that you follow. And it is very important that you follow this rule. If you skip this video, you are going to keep on wasting money without getting results whenever you scale your Facebook advert. And then I will show you some real example of how scaling is done and how it is done the right way. Okay. Let's proceed to this video. So first of all, let's start with this. What does the scaling actually mean? When you hear somebody want to scale a Facebook advert, what do they mean? What are they referring to? What scaling means is you want to increase the kind of result you are getting with your Facebook advert. And you can do that in two ways. Either you are scaling by increasing your budget, or you are scaling by creating similar campaigns. I'm going to show you exactly what it means. But whenever you hear about scaling, understand that they are referring to, they want to increase their results. For example, if you are getting 10 lead every single day and you now want to scale, it means that when you scale, you want to be able to start getting from 15 lead per day, from 20 lead per day, instead of the 10 that you were getting before, because you have now scaled the advert. You should be able to start producing more results. For me, sometimes when I'm getting like maybe 100 lead in a day, when I finally scale my advert, I'll probably start getting 150 to 200 lead in a day. Of course, your cost, the amount you are spending is not going to be the same, because you are actually increasing your budget. So what you are doing is that you are going to be reaching more people, and because you are reaching more people, you now have the opportunity to get more results. Okay. So scaling is not just about increasing your budget. There are things you need to know. So when is an advert actually ready to scale? Okay. First of all, there are three simple tests. The first test is that the learning phase is already completed. Learning phase requires that you get 50 conversion in 7 days. So if you have not been able to get up to 50 conversion in 7 days, you are not qualified to scale that advert. And what is conversion? Conversion means the result that you are telling Facebook. It can be lead, it can be sales, it can be messaging. Just make sure that you have gotten 50 different conversions in 7 days. So that's why you use the 7-day window. You look at the conversion and make sure that you have gotten up to 50. That's when you know that your learning phase is completed. The second one is that your cost per result is stable. It's not just you run advert for 2 days, the cost per result is good. For just 2 days, you're already thinking of scaling the advert. You are shooting yourself. I know you want to get results, but it is important that you allow the advert to run for a long time. Ideally, 14 days, 30 days, 7 days is just if you cannot wait. But if you want to actually leave it for 14 days, it is ideal, so that you'll be able to see that, oh, this advert has been running for the past 2 weeks and the result is still stable. That means the advert is actually ready to scale. It's not even every advert that is scalable. So if your result is not stable for a consistent number of times, it means you cannot scale that advert. Okay. Then the third test is that you must have enough data to make that decision. Like I said, running advert for just 2 days and thinking about scaling it is not the right thing to do. You have to first of all allow the advert to run, gather a lot of data, have a lot of reach, a lot of impression, a lot of link clicks, a lot of conversion. These are data that Facebook is going to use to make sure that when you scale your advert, you are getting good results. Okay. Now, session 2, we're going to talk about the scaling mistakes that are killing your campaigns. There are a lot of scaling mistakes you are making right now that are killing your campaign. So the first one here is doubling your budget overnight. Ooh, I've seen a lot of clients that when they contact me, they say, "Oh, I just increased my budget and the result is no longer the same." I say, "Can we go on a call?" When we go on a live call and I look at the method and the strategy they are using, I immediately know that that's the problem. If you are spending 3,000 or 10,000 naira per day, all of a sudden you now want and increase your budget to 25,000 in a day. Come on, that's not how scaling is done. Scaling is done gradually. In fact, there was this client I was working with. The client was getting results. He said, Mr. Paul, I want to scale this advert. I want to be getting more results. I want to be getting more results. And I clearly told him, no, this advert is not enough to be scaled. It has not gathered enough data. And even if I want to scale it, I'm not going to scale it the way you're talking about. I know you have the money to spend. I know you want me to create advert that will be spending 200,000 per day, but you need to calm down. Allow this advert to run first. Allow it to gather data. Let the market respond to it. Okay. And then if you want to now increase your budget, you dare not double your budget. If you are spending 5,000 per day, you cannot just take it to 10K. If you're spending 10K per day, you cannot just take it to 20K. There is a systematic rule to scaling your Facebook advert. And I'm going to show you what these rules are in this video. Okay. Mistake number 2, you are scaling a campaign that is still in learning phase. Like I said before, if your campaign is in learning phase, you have no business scaling that campaign. In fact, just allow the campaign to run. The only job you are going to do is to make sure you keep on funding the campaign. You don't edit it. You don't think about scaling it. You don't disturb this campaign because the campaign needs time. They don't need all this editing. Tomorrow you are changing budget. Next tomorrow you are changing creative. The other day you are changing ad copy. You are changing headline. No, you are not going to touch that campaign. Just allow it to be running. As long as it is giving you result, allow the campaign to be running. You don't have to be touching it and going through over it, editing up and down. So you have to allow your campaign to exist learning phase. And the easiest way to know about learning phase is that you must have 50 conversion in a space of 7 days. Okay. So if 7 days have passed and you have 45 conversion, you have not existed learning phase. Oh, you have to have 50 different conversion in 7 days. So you can do the math and you'll be able to know whether you have existed a learning phase or not. There was a time that when your advert is in learning phase, it's actually going to show that the advert is in learning phase. I mean, those period, I think that was when the learning phase came out newly. So a lot of people have not known much about learning phase that time. But right now, if your advert is in learning phase, it does not necessarily have to show that the advert is in learning phase. In the delivery session where it is showing active or campaign off, it will show you learning phase before. Right now, it's not going to actually show you that it is in learning phase. That's why I'm trying to explain that the only way to know that your campaign have existed learning phase is that you have gotten 50 conversion in 7 days. Okay. Mistake number 3 is editing the campaign while scaling. See, you don't have to edit campaign while you are scaling. Your only job is to just increase your budget or maybe create a similar ad. I'm going to show you, but it doesn't mean that you now have to start editing the campaign. You are changing the age, you are changing the audience, you are changing. No, 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 no. That is not the job of scaling. In fact, that's not the same thing as scaling. So you have to know the difference. Mistake number 4 is scaling without enough creative variety. Scaling without enough creative variety. What that means is that maybe you have one creative, you have to have different creative at hand so that when you are scaling, you will be able. This applies to horizontal scaling, whereby you are creating various adverts. I'm going to show you what that means, okay? Mistake number 5 is scaling too many campaigns at the same time. It's actually not advisable to scale too many campaigns at the same time. It is solely advisable to scale gradually. You come in your ad manager today, you scale like one campaign or scale like two campaigns, and you allow it to run. So you don't scale too many campaigns, because by the time you do that, on there's overlapping, and algorithm, you'll be confusing the algorithm. They don't know how to deliver your advert to the best audience and all of that. So please take it easy, okay? So let's talk about section 3, which is horizontal scaling versus vertical scaling. I told you that there are two types of scaling. And whenever you hear scaling Facebook adverts, I'm guaranteeing you that this is the only two types of scaling you are going to see. However, with these two types of scaling, you can do a lot of magic, okay? You just need to know how to do it, and you'll be able to do it even more often. Okay, so when we talk about vertical scaling, we're talking about going deeper with more budget. So, for example, your campaign is running at 5,000 and you now increase it to 8,000. What you are doing simply is that you are vertically scaling the advert. Okay, so vertical scaling simply has to do with something about increasing your budget. That is all about vertical scaling. Now, let's look at this. Vertical scaling means increasing the budget on your existing winning campaign or ad set without changing anything else. Meaning, this is not the time for you to start changing date or age or gender. You only need to go into that advert, increase your budget using the systematic rule that I'm going to show you, and you get out of that campaign. You don't need to do another thing. Okay, if you are scaling your advert, please do not go and change your creative. Please do not go and change your copy. That is not the work of vertical scaling. So when do you use vertical scaling for your advert? Number one, when your campaign has existed learning phase and the results are stable. Number two, when your audience size is large enough to absorb more budget without exhausting itself. Number three, when your cost per result has been consistent for at least 5 to 7 days. They are just trying to be very minimal here. You can actually leave this advert to run for 14 days so that you have a very solid and stable result. You now know that, okay, when I scale this advert can handle scaling. Like I have mentioned, it is not every advert that can handle scaling. There are some adverts that when you scale it, you just notice that your cost per conversion goes up very high. But when you bring it down, you notice that it is now stable. So that kind of advert does not want you to scale it. All it wants is for you to leave it to be running at the amount that it is already is. You don't need to scale that at that time. Okay. So what I said is your audience size is large enough to absorb more budget without exhausting itself. I see some people, they are targeting 200,000 audience. They are targeting 100,000 audience. That audience is not big enough. I mean, you should be talking about 5 million, 2 to 5 million potential estimated audience reach. That is the kind of audience that you need to have. And you say, okay, this audience is very large enough. When I started Facebook advert, my mentor told me that Facebook algorithm favors large audience. When you limit Facebook by tightening your audience too much and you end up having 50,000 people to 100,000 people to target, you have tightening the audience, and Facebook algorithm does not like that because you are not giving them enough room to breathe. You are just tightening them. Oh, you want to target people that are interested in this, they must be interested in this, they must be interested in this, and you now make your audience very tight. They will not be able to get you best result like that. But when you give them enough audience, from 2 million and above is ideal. When you give them enough audience, they will be able to do a lot more. And the benefit is that your advert will now be able to perform for a long time before that advert stop working. The reason is simple, because you now have enough audience compared to when you don't have any huge audience at all. All right. Your cost per result has been considered for at least 5 to 7 days. You don't need to even think about this. You must run your advert for 7 days before you think about scaling this advert. Now, I'm going to show you how to do it correctly. Number one, increase your budget by maximizing 20% every 3 to 4 days. Okay. 20% of your current budget is what you are going to be increasing. So if you have a 5,000 naira budget per day, think about what is the 20% of 5,000. That is the amount you are going to add into your budget. So let's say for instance, budget is your budget is 5,000 and you want to increase it by 20%. That means when you go into your ad manager, you are going to I'm trying to check. You are going to put 1,000 naira there. If you increase the campaign budget from 5,000 to 6,000, you will now actually publish that advert and just leave it to run. You have to leave it to run for like at least 48 hours, because that will show you whether that scaling you did is going to give you result or is going to now make your cost per result very high. But the way I'm looking at it, with that 1,000 naira increase, your advert is going to give you good results because you are still retaining that 20% increase. But in a situation where you go and increase your budget from 5,000 naira to 9,000, you see, you have already destroyed the principle. You are not following the rule again. And anything that comes out of it, that means you are the one that caused it. You don't increase your budget like that. If you want to actually increase your budget from 5,000 to 10,000, there is another scaling method that you can use, which is horizontal scaling. That is what I'm going to show you as we proceed in this video. Make sure you watch this video to the end. The next one is never increase by more than 20% in a single change. Okay. Never. I know you'll be tempted to do that, but think about it. You've already tested a lot of things to get this advert to work. Are you really ready to jeopardize the result and maybe spoil the advert and destroy the campaign from running just because you want to be getting the far better result? It is best for me to get results gradually and allow this advert to run for a long time than to be able not to get, I want this something quick, quick, quick. And then at the end of the day, it's no longer working. Another one is monitor cost per result for 48 hours after each increase before increasing again. So you have to look at the result for 48 hours and say, oh, this result is still very stable and I'm getting results. So it is already after 48 hours and I think I'm still getting better results. At that point, you might say, okay, let me increase it again by 1,000. This is how you keep on in doing it by 20%, of course. This is how you keep on doing it until you find out that your campaign costs per result is now going up very high. That means if you reach at that point, you might want to leave this advert at that point for a long time, because every campaign has a breaking limit at a point where you now increase the campaign and it is no longer going to be giving you good cost per result. Instead, the cost per result will now go up very high. That means you are not going to be able to scale that campaign again, at least for now. What you simply need to do is to allow the campaign to be running like that. You don't need to think about scaling it again. Just leave it at that price. And if you want to still be spending more money, go and start using horizontal scaling. It's no longer that vertical scaling. You can't apply it in that particular campaign again for now. That's because it has reached its breaking point. Okay. For example, let's say 5,000 naira per day, cost per lead is 400 and is stable for 7 days. Then I want to increase it to 6,000 per day and I'll monitor it for another 4 days. Day 8, I will increase it to 7,200 per day. Day 12, I will increase it to 8,640 naira per day. You see, this is the structure. And if you follow this structure, you'll be able to get your advert to be running, increasing your budget without also jeopardizing the result that you get. So this is the strategy. Now let's talk about the horizontal scaling, which is the second type of scaling. It simply means going wider with new audiences. Now, at this point, we're no longer talking about increasing budget. Our goal is to go wider to reach new audiences. You see, vertical scaling is different because we are talking about increasing our budget for already existing campaign that is already working very well. Horizontal scaling, we are not going to touch a campaign that is working. We're going to leave that campaign to keep working. However, we are going to be creating similar campaign. Let's look at the English here. Horizontal scaling means keeping your original winning campaign untouched and creating new ad sets or new campaigns targeting different audiences with the same or similar creative. Please, let's look at this again. Horizontal scaling means keeping your original winning campaign untouched, meaning you are not going to touch that campaign that is working. You dare not touch it. And creating new ad sets or new campaigns targeting different audiences. The keyword here is different audiences. And also another keyword here is with the same or similar creative. In fact, I will confess, I love that word, the same, because if I get a video that is working now, you can't tell me that it is only that advert that is working that the video can work on, because the market is too much. Imagine a niche that has maybe 4.2 billion market size and you are just targeting a particular advert with 5,000 naira. You can't exhaust that audience even in 3 years. So what we are going to do now is that we're going to take that same video or that same ad copy that is working, and we're going to be using it to target different audiences. Don't worry, I'm going to try to break it down before the end of this video. So when do you use horizontal scaling? Number one, when your current audience is getting saturated. I'll say it again. When your current audience is getting saturated, you have to use horizontal scaling. Number two, when your frequency is rising above 3 to 4 and your cost per result is increasing very high, at that point, like I mentioned in the vertical scale, you don't have to be scaling vertically again. You have to now go back and start using horizontal scaling. Number three, when you want to reach entirely new segments of the market, I just told you now, when you want to reach an entirely new segment. Number four, when you want to reduce the risk by not depending on a single audience. I love this one. So if you have one advert that is working, it's not actually a guarantee that that advert will keep working. You can wake up tomorrow and something happen, Facebook ban it or reject that particular advert for no reason. Maybe the advert, it does not have anything to cause the rejection, but Facebook might just reject it and tell you can request for a review if you think this was done wrongly. By that time your advert is no longer running. So if you want to reduce that risk and make sure that you do not have just one campaign, you have to use horizontal scaling to create similar adverts, at least with the same creative that you're already using that is working. So let me show you an example of horizontal scaling in practice. I create new ad set that is targeting a different interest group. Let's say, for instance, the first advert I created is targeting skincare. For example, I can create another advert that is targeting womenhood or motherhood or parenting or people that are interested in beauty and skincare. That is me targeting different audience that is not the first one I was using before. The next one here is new ad set that is targeting different age range. Okay, let's say for the first advert, I was targeting people between 25 to 55 years. I can create a new advert that is targeting people between 30 to 60 years. Okay, you see, that is me targeting different age range, and that advert is going to reach different people because the age range is not the same. So I can create a new ad set, still using the same video and the same copy that is working. I can create a new ad set using lookalike audience built from my buyers. I can create a new ad set targeting a different Nigeria city or region. You see, I am creating different adverts, but the keyword there is, first of all, different audience. Secondly, you are using the same creative or similar creative. When I say similar creative, it means you created an advert and the video is working. You have to study that video and create a similar video that looks like it and actually use it to target new audience. Okay. Last one here is I can create a new ad set that is target with a completely different creative angle. Completely different creative angle. So this is what horizontal scaling means in practice, and I hope you are getting result and value from this video. Please subscribe to this channel and turn on notification bell and share this video to your audience. Let them just find it helpful. I'm going to show you now the 5 golden rules of scaling. Number one, never increase budget by more than 20% every 3 or 4 days. This is the single most important rule. If you break it, you will almost always regret it, because at the end of the day, even if your campaign is running, after 2 days, you now see that the campaign is already destroying itself, the cost per result is going up, you are no longer getting results, you wait all day, lead will not come in, sales will not come in, you are wondering what you did wrong. Well, it's because you are in a hurry. You went and increased more than 20%. Number two, never scale a campaign that is still in learning phase. Wait for the exit confirmation in Ad Manager before touching the budget. I've already told you the strategy to know that you've exited learning phase. You must get 50 conversion in a space of 7 days. Anytime you get 50 conversion in a space of 7 days, you've exited learning phase. If you want to be at the safe side, you can actually say you have to get 60 to 100 conversion in 7 days. That way, you know that no matter what happened, you've already exited learning phase. So you don't just get 50 conversion and immediately start scaling. You can even try to say, oh, I must get 60, I must get 70, I must get 80 or 90 or even 100 conversion in 7 days before I think about scaling that advert. Okay. Rule number three, always monitor for 48 hours after every budget change. Every time you increase your budget, be very close to your advert, monitor it for 48 hours. Do not make two changes in 48 hours. Give the algorithm time to adjust after each increase. This is very important. Rule number four, have new creative ready before you need them. Creative fatigue will happen as you scale. It's already a normal thing. Prepare 3 to 5 fresh creative in advance so you can rotate them without interrupting campaign momentum. Your campaign is going to actually hit fatigue. If you don't know it, then you should know it by now. It's going to definitely hit fatigue. So you need to prepare as many campaign creative as possible. Okay. Rule number five, never scale and edit simultaneously. If you're increasing the budget, do not also change the audience or creative at the same time. In fact, when it comes to Facebook advert, the rule had always been one change at a time, so that if something is working, you'll be able to say that this is what is making it to work. So one change at a time is the goal. So how do you know when to stop scaling? Well, you need to understand that scaling is not infinite. Every campaign has a ceiling, and knowing when you're approaching it saves you from wasting time and budgets. These are signs that you are hitting your scaling breaking limit. I like to call it breaking limit. Is that your cost per result increases by more than 30% despite following the 20% budget rule. Number two, your ad frequency is above 4, meaning the same people are seeing your advert too many times. It is showing frequently. That is just what that English means. Your click-through rate is declining, even though your creative has not changed. Okay. Your audience size in Ad Manager is showing limited reach. Okay. Maybe for some reason you are now seeing limited reach in your Ad Manager. It means you're already reaching your breaking limits. Okay. I hope this video has been helpful. Now let's get into the ad manager so that I can show you practically how to scale vertically and how to scale horizontally. It's going to be a very short demonstration. So let's go into our ad manager right now. So anytime you want to scale your advert vertically, which means increasing your budget of already winning advert. I'm going to just show you as an example. Let's say, for instance, this campaign, is the one that is working. So this campaign is working by all. Maybe you have looked at the metrics, you have allowed it to run. In fact, how do you even check for 7 days? You come to this place, you check last 7 days, click on last 7 days. What that means is that Facebook is going to show you all the results in the last 7 days. If you come here and you click on last 14 days, what that means is that Facebook is going to show you all the results in the last 14 days. The same thing applies with last 28 days, last 30 days. If you want to check your result for yesterday, you click on yesterday. If you want to check your result for today, you click on today. If you want to check your result for this week, last week, this month, last month, then maximum means you are going to see all the results starting from 16th of February 2023 to 16th of March 2026. So every advert I have been running in this ad account from 2023, February 2023 to March 2026, you are going to see so that is what the maximum is actually talking about. But for now, I'm going to just keep this like this because I'm not actually scaling the advert. This is just me showing you an example. So like I was saying, let's say this is the advert that I want to scale. Let's say this is the advert that I want to scale. And I have seen that the advert is giving me results. I want to scale vertically first, which is increasing the budget. Always remember that vertically means increasing the budget. Horizontally means creating similar ad. What I'm going to do is that I'm going to come to the ad set and click on this edit. You can easily click on edit here or click on. Before you click on edit here, you must select that one ad before you'll be able to click on edit here. But if you don't want to be selecting the ad, you can just hover your cursor here and you see edit, click on it. And for example, let me check how much this advert was. Like I said, this is an example ad account, so I'm not running advert here, but let me check how much I'm spending, putting here. Let me put this to ad set budget. So let me come to the ad set and check how much is there. So let's say, for instance, that I'm using 5,000. Let me quickly check this. Let me put 5,000 naira here. Let's say, for instance, I'm using 5,000 before and I want to scale it. Remember what I said? 20% of 5,000 naira is 1,000. So what I need to do simply is to come here and I'll change this to 6,000 and I'll hit on publish. All right. I'll just hit on publish, but I don't want to go through all that stuff now. So, but that's exactly how you can scale your advert vertically. So after 3 days and it's still giving me results, I'll come back again. Remember that I did not touch anything else. It is only that budget that I just increased. You don't need to start touching anything else. I'll come back again. I'll just increase it again to another amount. So 20% of the amount that, for instance, at 6,000, 20% of 6,000 is 7,200. So I'll now come back and increase it again to 7,200. That's the strategy that you can use for yourself. Once you do that, you hit on publish. And voila, that is vertical scaling. That is vertical scaling. So I've talked about all the things you need to know. This is me just showing the practical here. Another thing I want to show you now is how to scale horizontally. I mentioned that you need to create similar adverts with it, right? So let's say this is the advert that is working. Okay, this advert that is working. So what I want to do, I want to duplicate this advert and maybe change the audience. All right, the horizontal scaling is where you now start changing the audience, just like I mentioned in the theory part. So I'm going to duplicate this advert. I'm going to duplicate into two, for example. Let me just teach you this. Two different copies. Duplicating means I just want to photocopy this advert to give me two different copies. So I'm going to come to the audience right here. And I'm going to immediately go down to audience, which is show suggestion. So let's say, for instance, I was targeting skincare, like I said. Let's say I was targeting skincare in my advert that is working. That is this skincare. All right. What I can do is to come here and remove this skincare and target beauty, for example. What I have just done now is to target a new audience. So people that are interested in beauty are another audience that is different from skincare. Then for this second one, I can come to this second one and target another new set of our audience. So I can target motherhood. What I'm trying to do is I want my advert to reach people that are interested in skincare. Of course, people that are motherhood, those are women, and women need skincare. Okay, I can decide to target this motherhood. You see, I am using the same video from the one that is working. I am using the same copy from the one that is working, but now I am now changing the interest. Are you seeing the difference now? I am now changing the interest. So these are the strategy that you need to use. And when you do that, you just hit on publish. If for some reason you want to, tamper with the age range, you can say, oh, for this advert, I want to reach people that are between the ages of 27 to 45. You see, what I'm doing now, I'm going to reach a new audience with this age range because it's now different from the first age range that I put. For this one, I say I want to reach people that are between the ages of 20 to 60 or maybe 55 years because 60 years is already so old. I don't think they need skincare. So 20 to 55. You see, this is me changing the age range. Okay. Even the gender self, you can say, oh, instead of targeting everybody, I want to just target only women. What I'm doing here is I'm simply scaling my adverts horizontally. Remember the English. Horizontal scaling means, let's go back so that we'll check what that horizontal scaling means. Horizontal scaling simply means keeping your original winning campaign untouched. And remember, we did not touch our winning campaign and creating new ad sets or new campaigns targeting different audiences with the same or similar creative. You see, this is a very simple English. And then, example of horizontal scaling in practice, new ad sets targeting a different interest group. This is just exactly what we just did now. New ad sets targeting a different age group. This is just we just did, whereby I have to change different age range. New ad set using a lookalike audience is another form of targeting. New ad set targeting a different Nigerian city. So let's try this Nigerian city. For example, the first advert was targeting the entire Nigeria, right? And then I can come here and say, for this second advert, I don't want to target the entire Nigeria. I want to target people in Lagos. I want to target people in Lagos. I want to target people in Abuja. And then I want to target people in River State. You see what I'm doing here now? Instead of targeting the entire country, I'm only targeting 3 of the Nigeria. Okay, River State. Okay, so Abuja, Lagos, and Rivers. What I'm going to do now, I'm going to reach a completely new audience than when I was targeting the entire country. So this is a very simple thing in practice. Also, new asset with a completely different creative. What that means is that I'm going to shoot a new video or get a new image and change my creative right here. So instead of me using the winning video, I can decide to now change my creative by going here to upload a new video or a new image that I have. Set up creative, you upload a new video. Let's say I want to use video for this advert. So I go to set up creative and I choose a particular new video that I want. If you don't have the video on your Facebook library, you can go to upload. But for now, I have the video. I can now click on next. Click on on skip and continue, and the video is going to be uploaded. So this is going to be a different video from the one that is already winning. So I just wanted to show you exactly how to scale your advert horizontal way, how to scale your advert vertical way. And I hope that with this strategy that I've shown you, you'll be able to take your advert from spending 5,000 naira a day to be able to do 20,000, 50,000 naira ad spend per day profitably without destroying the one that is already working. So you see, a lot of people are wasting time. They are using the strategy that is not working, and that's why they are killing the one that is working for them. By the way, if you want to get a complete course, I've created a Facebook advert course that covers everything that I know about Facebook advert. One thing about YouTube video is that it is kind of scattered, but this course is organized step by step. You'll be able to watch the video 1, video 2, everything is arranged very well in orderly manner so that you'll be able to understand the strategy from setting up pixeling, creating your ad copy, creating your video, writing your video script, creating your advert, optimizing your audience, scaling your ad, running retargeting advert. Everything is there. So you're going to learn strategies that I have used to generate a lot of sales in my business. Click on the link in the comment section and you'll be able to go to my sales page, see the things that you are going to be getting, and you get access to that program right away. Okay. That course is going to change your life. I guarantee you that. It's one of the best things you ever get because who doesn't like the way I teach? You see how I explain things? So go get the course. You are going to love it. I hope you found this video helpful, and please make sure you subscribe to this channel, turn on notification bell, and I'm going to see you in the next video.